Alright guys, welcome to the shop. So today what I'm going to be doing is working behind me. I'm going to make a basically like a tabletop going along the length of this wall, and the goal of that is so that I can take those Ryobi tools that I was telling you about. That would be the drill press, the bandsaw, maybe the grinder, the actual router table possibly. They're all going to sit on a bench along the length of this wall here. And basically what I hope to do with that, and underneath there's going to be storage for other tools. Like my Ego lawnmower is going to fit underneath there. My 2 power sprayers that I have, they're going to fit underneath this basic bench. Now the bench is going to be higher than a normal workbench because I have to put the lawnmower and all of those things underneath. Back over here at this corner, I don't want the actual bench to extend past this area. So I want the garage to be completely uninhibited so that I can pull a car in here if I needed to. So that's the goal. First and foremost, what I'm doing is taking one of my taller tools. If you can see right here, I strapped some lines, and that's basically where I need the bottom of my actual tabletop to be. I'm going to use 2x1 on the wall, going all the way down, and then we're going to set probably like a 3/4 inch. Right now, I think I'm just going to use, I have a sheet of particle board. I'm just going to put that on the top, and I'm hoping to make it sturdy enough to where I can actually climb up on top to access the tools all along the length of this wall. So we'll see if that works out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and try to get the first board placed. Get my hearing protection in. So there's multiple ways that I could do this. So what I'm thinking is I probably should cut a couple boards that are to this height. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these I want to try to put this underneath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strap the cord up for now. So at this portion of the video, I'm trying to determine if the lawnmower or the shop vac is higher. I've determined that the lawnmower is a little bit higher, so I'm going to mark where the bottom of my 2x4 for the back of this shelf needs to be all along the wall. With that marked, I am going to grab my wall level. With that portion marked, I'm grabbing my laser level, and I just want to kind of get a correlation for how much lower the part of the garage where the garage door is, how that is in relationship to closer to the refrigerator to the left. This is the highest. It goes down lower there. This garage actually slopes going from left to right. So now I'm taking just a piece of 2x4 here, and I'm marking it because I'm going to cut these boards to a certain height so that I can actually put the, I guess I'd call it the runner across the wall there, so that I'll be able to hold it up and, do this with, one person. I'm using my DeWalt FlexVolt 12-inch miter saw. And I started off using my FlexVolt dust extractor. However, I believe the battery needs to be replaced in the remote, so I kind of just abandoned that. I didn't want to run the battery out, just leaving it running constantly. And when I kind of get in project mode, I just try to knock out as much as I can, as fast as I can. Here I'm using the HKC saw just to square up one end of this piece of lumber. And lo and behold, I decided to go ahead and put on some dust protection while I'm drilling here. As you can see, I have all these boards set, and I just kind of temporarily screwed them in so that I can kind of balance this back portion. And as you can see, that's how the lawnmower is going to fit underneath. I'm leaving quite a bit of space because I don't want to have to really work hard to get these tools out. I want them to come out easily. I'm pulling out my long level here to see how much I need to adjust the board. And then I'm using the HKC. This saw is excellent for stuff like this, to be able to cut off that portion. And then here, I'm just going ahead and making some pilot holes so that I can screw this stud into the wall. And then here I'm using relative measurements to get this portion that goes to the little rectangular portion that's sticking out from the wall on the right side of the screen. Now, right here, I'm using my HKC again, but as you can see, this DeWalt setup, right? And it doesn't have a repeatable stop. Now, I did make one eventually during this project, but it would have been so much easier if I had the Kapex UG stand. I could have done a repeatable stop for whatever length I needed to have, and it just would have been a lot more of an efficient process. So I am going to pick up the Festool UG stand. I just have to figure out which one I want to purchase first, whether it be the one for the KS60 or the one for the 120. The KS60 one is going to be metric. I believe it only comes in metric. And then I'm considering getting the standard or the Imperial for the 120, but I'm not 100% sure if that's what I'm going to do. I may get two metrics. We'll just have to see. So as you can see, I'm screwing this in. And now that I have that back portion screwed in, I'm just removing these support boards. Now this video actually was supposed to be going up on January 29th. However, I was having some technical difficulties with my PC. I go back and forth between using my desktop PC and using a 13-inch MacBook, and for whatever reason, sometimes Windows just acts kind of wild, and it acts like it doesn't want to transfer files. And you know, I'm always having to update my PC, but even updating it doesn't always make it work. So sometimes I have to just kind of leave it. And as far as my MacBook, it seems to work a little bit better. However, it doesn't have as much storage, and it does not have access to my NAS, not in a fast way. So when I have a larger project, it's a lot easier to work with it on my PC. Plus, I like the bigger screen. But sometimes my PC just gives me a headache just because, you know, Windows has a lot of updates and it's constantly breaking things. So here I'm using my car jack because there's a bow in this this piece of wood, and so I'm using the car jack to lift it up, and then I'm screwing it in place. There you go. I think when I was doing this portion, let me see. Yeah, now I'm starting to, I have to work around that post there that you see to just to my left. And what I determined is that I'll just put a piece of 2x4, just because of the depth of the 2x4. I just basically was able to put a piece right over it and bolt it on, or screw it on both sides. So here I'm using my Foreman pocket hole jig. I want to make this project it's just a down, dirty, fast project. The goal, as I said, is to try to have a place to put all of those, the lawnmower. I have a chipper. I have my shop vac and some other things, and to have a flat surface above them where I can kind of set things. Now, originally, I was thinking that it would be low enough so that I could actually use it as a working bench and put my drill press and all of these other tools on top. However, as I'm doing this voiceover, I pretty much have it done, but the top actually got damaged when I made a bad cut, so I need to go back and fix that. However, what I realize is it's way too high, but it is at least another flat surface for me to kind of set things on while I'm doing other projects. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do as far as a secondary bench. My wife wants me to build a bench that she can have access to, because she's going to be coming out here tinkering with some of the, those Ryobi tools. Those are pretty much hers now. I actually was going to sell them. However, when I did the math, I think my total collection of Ryobi tools, and it's over probably 50 or so. It was brand new. It's probably like only about, maybe just over $3,000 worth of tools. But when I looked on my local Craigslist and all that, and I saw how much money that you can actually get for selling these tools, I mean, you might as well just, use them until they go through, because, you're really getting pennies on the dollar back. Now, I do know that, it would free up space, but I just don't, at least at this time, I didn't feel comfortable getting rid of, all of those tools for, a discount price at this time. And especially now too, when you have, the economy is pretty bad. So, I don't expect people to have a lot of disposable income, to be buying, used tools and such. So for right now, I'll just hold on to what I got and try to come up with creative ways to play around with storage to see if I can have a workable shop, but also store what I need to store in the same spot. As you can see here, I'm just using the pocket holes. I pulled out my CSX drill, and basically this is just going to be rinse and repeat doing this portion of the build. And this is nothing special. You should know that I didn't take any measurements. I didn't draw. I didn't even draw this on a piece of paper, let alone SketchUp. I'm simply looking at the space that I have here, and I'm working with the space that I have, trying to make something that I hope is level and that is sturdy enough to accomplish the task that I want to accomplish. This is not a beauty contest. As you can see right now, my workbench is looking a hot mess, and I'm simply trying to knock one project down after the other to try to make better sense of this garage workspace that I happen to have access to right now. At this point, guys, I'm getting close to the end of this day of work. So I actually started doing the back portion, and then my wife had made a late brunch, so I went and ate that. And after I ate that, I kind of knocked out for a few hours, and then I came back out to finish up these last portions, and it was later in the day, so I ended up not getting as far as I wanted to on day one. Anyways, I have already started working on the next portion of this video, and I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to follow me in my journey as I make projects and get better at my woodworking. And you know, whatever else I choose to share. Anyways, guys, I hope you all are doing well. Thanks for taking time to watch the video, and I will see you in my next one.